Hey guys, everyone, and welcome back to the channel and welcome to another StapleSpeaks. Now, this could go down in history as my most controversial video ever because in this video, I'm going to be revealing something that I deem as my most controversial football opinion of all time, and I'm going to try and justify it. But hey, if you want to tear me down in the comment section below, I don't care. I couldn't care less because that's not going to change my mind on this topic. And yeah, I'm just going to get into basic gist of my most unpopular opinion right now. Now, the unpopular opinion I have is that, so if you guys don't know, I am Indian and I have made a lot of videos on Indian football. But my unpopular opinion is that I couldn't care less about Indian football, and I don't care about the ISL or general Indian football. I don't watch it, don't support the team, I have no interest in it, and I don't think I will ever watch it again. And I know right now, since I have mainly an Indian demographic, the fans are probably tearing their eyelashes apart just thinking, why the hell am I listening to this guy then? If he has no interest in Indian football. I just don't. It's really, really not an interesting thing for me. And I'll just try and get into three main reasons why I don't care anymore. Let's start with what I think is probably my main reason. Now, if you don't know, the ISL started, the Indian Super League was a private league that was started with 8 founding members, and one of them was my hometown team, FC Pune City. I am from Pune and I was born here, I was brought up here, and I've not moved anywhere else. And FC Pune City in the ISL were playing in the smallest ground in the league. We were the clear underdogs. We weren't even, I think we were one of the lesser rich teams in the entire league. I'm not saying poorest because we weren't poor, we definitely had some owners, and we were even owned by some huge movie stars. And yeah, I just remember that I used to go to games, and since my dad knew someone who worked for the ISL, we got free front row tickets, free VIP box tickets. And when FC Pune City was disbanded and dissolved due to financial issues in 2018, it's like a part of my soul died, because now it means that there's no professional football team in the entirety of Pune, one of the biggest cities for football in India. And this all started as like a huge domino chain of when we tried to sign a player illegally. I don't even remember who it was, and we were fined for it. And I mean, the fine did nothing, but it set off a horrible change for events. We stacked our roster, and in the final years, we even had people like Ian Hume and Marcelinho, who are legends right now of Indian football. And I can't lie that my interest in Indian football was kind of lost when my hometown team left, and since then I just don't feel a connection to a team. I've tried. I have quite a few people or friends of mine who are Kerala fans, but I don't know, I just don't get the same feeling when I watch football anymore in general in terms of Indians. Now let's start with another reason. Now, I realized quite late on, even I think just before Pune got disbanded, that the ISL was becoming a BTEC MLS, in the fact that we were trying to get these big old names, we were trying to get that last cash grab, except for the fact that we had a lot worse football. And yeah, it's just really sad. And a stat I found out is that the players of the ISL hit the target one time out of every 7 shots, which is a horrible return. And yeah, it just doesn't look professional. It's appalling. And yeah, it is a money game. In at least the start of the ISL, there was a clear path for the youth who could then like directly enter the teams and make their name. I mean, there's still certainly some players who became quite big in the terms of a youth academy of the ISL, but currently it's become just a lone garden for the second tier of Spanish football. And when Coro is your best player of all time, yeah, you're having a questionable league. The marquee signings as well severely deteriorated. In the first season, we had Alessandro Del Piero, we had Roberto Carlos for the second season, David James, David Trezeguet, and even in our team, we had Adrian Mutu, Jermaine Pennant, again, the aforementioned David Trezeguet played for us, and I think the last good one was Tim Cahill, because other than that, I'm just drawing blanks here. I can't remember anyone from last season at least, and I can't help but point it's the fact that we are now being exposed as a league where, with our affiliation with the Segunda Division, we're just becoming a lone garden. Now the third reason, it's something that I will touch on in a later video. Ooh, a bit of a tease here on the Staple Gun channel. But yeah, I'm talking about the AIFF. Oh my god, the federation. The All Indian Federation of the All Indian Football Federation is the federation that runs football in India in general, and I kid you not, they can't solve anything. They can't solve a first grader's math exam. They are supposed to be there to try and resolve issues, but in the end they just complicate them even more. Let's start with, I think, what maybe my number one disdain of them is they try to force Indian football down your throat. In fact, I think if I can remember, I'll try and put it up here as well. The AIFF, or one of the people from the AIFF, put out a post on Instagram saying that if you don't watch Indian football, you're not a patriot, and you don't deserve to watch other leagues if you don't support your own league. And I'm like, mate, why are you saying that? Like, I understand you're trying to promote your league. I'm totally fine with that. Just don't use words as not patriotic or you don't deserve anything. And then let's talk about what I think is another huge mistake of theirs, is that they've completely forgotten about the I-League. Now, the Indian Super League is privately owned. It's owned by Hero, who are like the big people in India. They own Jio as well, which is a huge data deliverer in the entirety of India. And they own Hero, who make the ISL. And the AIFF has absolutely ignored the I-League, the thing that they own, and they are just focusing on this ISL because of the fact that that has more marketing potential, and they can't make up their mind on the proper Indian football system because they are trying to make the I-League the second division of Indian football. And honestly, I kind of agree because no one's watching the I-League anymore. But it's so sad because it wasn't because the ISL gradually came up. No, it was because they completely abandoned the I-League so they could promote the ISL. And another thing is the closing of the Indian Futsal League, which, if you don't know, India, it's a huge place for futsal. We love our five-side. And you will, in a 1 kilometer radius in anywhere, especially in my city, you can find at least 3 decent five-side pitches. And the closing of the Premier Indian Futsal League, where we had people like Ronaldinho, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, I think even Sean Garnier played for a few matches, and that was mad. Yeah, they closed down that. And another thing that, again, I'm going to touch on in the later video is they can't really impose their dominance on any subject. Let's talk about their fine. I was talking earlier about the fine, that about the illegal transfers. Now, I'll try and use another example for this so you can basically understand. In 2005, when Chelsea signed Ashley Cole, we were fined £300,000 because we illegally approached a player, which is a fair fee. In India, FC Pune City were fined 100,000 rupees, which is around about £1,000. It's absolutely nothing for such rich owners to pay. And the AIFF thinks that they are big, and if they really want to build on something, the ISL is really not working because they're trying to cram it all in that one little box and they're forgetting about the history that the I League has. And now I League teams are being forced to team up with these ISL teams because if you know, recently Atletico de Kolkata, which is the most successful ISL team, had to team up, and Mohan Bagan, which is India's most prestigious club, got dissolved to form Atletico de Mohan Bagan, and it is quite frankly shocking because Mohan Bagan is the only Indian team to win the AFC Champions League, and so sad to see a club die like that just because the AIFF doesn't care about the league that they play in anymore. And that is why I don't care about the ISL anymore. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked, please like, share and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, I really hope you like this. I'm so sorry if I pissed off anyone, but I just had to say it because yeah, it's just been a hard few weeks in terms of the fact of these feelings around my head being around Indian football, and I was worrying whether I should stop making this content, but I'm like, I could maybe touch on the fact that of the old times which I used to watch, and I think those times are better anyway. But anyway guys, until the next episode or anything on the channel, peace.